Hey everyone, Merith here for, well, a completely different kind of video, I guess. So for those of you who are fans of 7 Days to Die, you may have seen a little bit of drama unfolding on Twitter. That also was a little bit on Twitch, and some of the Discord channels that I've seen as far as trying to discuss what's been happening here. And I looked at a lot of the information going around, and I talked to a couple individuals about what happened here, about the Fun Pimps, Kardinal Zyn, Mischief Maker, and I realized that by looking at the situation, that there was a lot of misinformation here and a lot of stuff that I didn't think was necessarily correct. So, even though it's a weekend, I made a presentation that I'm hoping will shed some light. Yes, I spent time on the weekend doing homework, okay? You guys are correct. In any event, the point of this video is to try and untangle this situation and help people understand what happened and as much as I can as to why. And again, we're talking about disclosures, disclaimers, but I wanted to make sure to give you my own, as I'm still an up-and-coming content creator, but regardless. So I'm not employed or paid by the Fun Pimps. I'm not a legal expert, nor am I a practicing attorney. I am, though, a law school graduate. I do have my degree from a law school. Part of my current job is not in the law. However, I do spend a lot of my time interpreting rules and laws of the industry I work in. I'm not going to get into further as far as what I do, maybe in a later video. I did the best I could to gather as much information on this as I could. I wanted to create this as soon as I could just to try and help people out. But again, there's only so much information I can gather in this time. And of course, the opinions expressed in this video are my own. They're not the thoughts of the Fun Pimps, Twitch, Kardinal Zyn, or anyone else. Nobody has endorsed this video. This is completely my own opinions. So, what are we talking about here? Okay, well, the issue at heart here is the End User License Agreement, or EULA. What is it? Whenever you go onto any kind of a game, most of the time when you install it, you're going to see this thing pop up that you just are like, yeah, all right, whatever. I want to play my game. I just want to agree to this, right? So what exactly is it? Well, it's a digital legal document setting out the terms in which a person, or rather a user, can use the software made available by another, which is usually a publisher. Now, the EULA has several goals. It sets out the basis for the usage of the software. It ensures the publisher has rights to protect its interests in the game. It manages or limits potential liabilities, and it facilitates compliance of the publisher with consumer protection law. There's more to it than that, but that's the general gist of it. It's an agreement that you are, as a licensee, so the publisher, to use legal terms here, is a licensor. They are granting you a license. So that game that you downloaded on Steam, that game that you got from Blizzard, you don't own it. You don't own it at all, especially if you installed it digitally. If you have the old discs of the game, you own the discs, but you don't own the game. That's the thing here, is that these publishing companies don't allow us to own the game. They allow us a license in order to play the game that we have to adhere to. So, we have the Fun Pimps EULA for 7 Days to Die. So let's take a look at it. All right, so here we are at the latest edition of the EULA that was issued by the Fun Pimps for 7 Days to Die as of July 13th, 2023. We're not going to go through the entire thing, but let's just kind of look at a few things here. First, it says explicitly, this document may be updated from time to time, and the current version will be posted at here. Well, that's this web address. It also says your continued use of this software 30 days after a revised version has been posted constitutes acceptance by you of its terms. These will be important later, so remember them. All right, let's just read a little bit here. This software is licensed, not sold. Kind of what we just said before. By installing, copying, or otherwise using this software defined below, you agree to be bound by the terms of this limited software warranty and license agreement. And the terms set forth by the software includes all software included with this agreement, the accompanying manual. All right, I'm not going to go into more than that, but what does it say right here? It says, by installing, copying, or otherwise using this software, you agree to be bound by the terms of this limited software warranty. That's huge, okay? That's telling you that you have to adhere to this. And when you first installed the game, you may have seen this, but it's saying basically that subsequent copies are going to be posted here, and that you don't necessarily have to tick a box every single time that this is updated. That your mere installation or using this software basically says you're agreeing to be bound by the terms of the limited software agreement. Is it fair? Well, I don't know. It's hard to say. I mean, it's a contract. That's essentially what this is. We're talking about contracts here and how you adhere to them and what the terms are of these contracts. So yeah, when you first start off, it tells you explicitly right here how you are going to be agreeing to it. Now, do other software companies have their EULA spelled out when you log in? Yeah. Now, sometimes when there are updates to them, you're going to see new ones. For example, here's Blizzard's end user license agreement. I'm a World of Warcraft player, so this whole thing right here, oh boy, look at the size of this here. Pretty big, okay? Pretty darn big. This spells out anything and everything involved. It's quite a read. But let's be fair with each other here. Let's be honest. How many of you honestly read these things from top to bottom and read all the details? Not many of us. That's myself included. We don't read a lot of these things. Why? Because we want to play the game. That's why. In any event, moving on. All right, so what is Mischief Maker? So in short terms, it was a mod that was created by Voided Pigeon. So it allowed direct interaction with the streamer. It can create events in the game, good or bad. It allowed a point accumulation via bit donations, but also had free point accumulation as well. So you could get buffs, debuffs. It would spawn zombies. It was interesting, and it was revolutionary, I say, for its time. And it created a lot of interesting things. Now, the thing was that you could accumulate free points, but you could also accumulate them, from my understanding at least, is that you could accumulate them also via bit donations. Apparently, according to the information that I've gathered, the person who created an extension, which is what this is, could receive compensation. Now, Twitch has this built in. Now, I have not been able to definitively confirm if Voided Pigeon received compensation via Mischief Maker, but it seems to be like he or she, to be fair, may have received compensation. Okay, that's also important. So, what happened? Okay. So around June 30th, a content creator by the name of Kardinal Zyn. Kardinal Zyn is a streamer on Twitch. He does also have a YouTube channel. I've seen him before. He's a good guy, as far as I can tell. He's got this whole moniker about portraying a cardinal. It's an interesting thing. I think it's unique. Hats off to him to coming up with a unique way to do content. And he's also a partner and was doing pretty well. So Kardinal Zyn criticizes Fubar Prime during a live stream. Fubar Prime is one of the devs of For 7 Days to Die. He's one of the Fun Pimps. Now, in this supposed critique, he seems to indicate that Fubar Prime / the Fun Pimps stole or plagiarized the idea of Mischief Maker in order for the Fun Pimps to create their own Twitch extension. Sorry, can't talk. The Twitch extension that the Fun Pimps were developing was going to basically do very similar, if not the same things as Mischief Maker. And it was, in his mind, copying it exactly. Now, why did he decide to say these things on the stream live? I don't know. I don't have the answer to that. I was not about to start going and being an investigative reporter on this and start investigating and doing interviews. I just said, look, let's try to get some clarification out here, just so it is more informative so people have a better understanding. So here are some examples of some of the tweets that came out around June 30th, around when he did the critique. So someone says, how was calling someone a plagiarist while they were live on stream calling too light, as he put it in a tweet? You wanted a fight and not a conversation, and this is to your website next to LM stuff. I'm not really sure what LM stuff is. I didn't go too far into that. If someone wants to clarify for me, please go right ahead. Most of us grown-ups see you for what you are, a bully. To which Kardinal Zyn responds, LM stole from me. Fubar stole from Voided. I don't like that. That's all there is to that. In the subsequent tweet around the same time, or in this same thread, he says, calling someone a plagiarist is not harassment, especially when it is true. Okay, there's a little bit to unpack here. So, calling someone a plagiarist or saying that someone stole something from someone is a fairly serious accusation. And to state that to somebody may not necessarily be the best thing to do, in my opinion. Again, not really sure what got him going on this. If he would like to clarify, that would be great. Something was bothering him. Something about what the Fun Pimps were doing with the Twitch integration was really bothering him. So he wanted to, as this person was saying, bring it to light, except that in this person's opinion, Kardinal Zyn may have gone a little bit too far. Now, I tried to look through some of Fubar's streams a little bit. Frankly, he streams for hours, and there's a lot there. So, to be fair to myself and to my weekend here, I did not find the actual things. I'm going to go with what Kardinal Zyn is saying here, and apparently the Fun Pimps took notice. So what happened? Oh wait, hold on. There we go. Sorry. Yep. So we were here. So all right. So then what happened was that Kardinal Zyn got banned from Fubar Prime's stream and from the 7 Days to Die Twitter for bringing to light. I mean, this is, I think, what started off these comments here was this post here. They says right explicitly at the top here that Fubar Prime has plagiarized from Mischief Maker. Again, words matter here, okay? Saying that someone plagiarized something, that's a pretty heavy accusation, okay? So he goes through a whole bunch of stuff here that Mischief Maker had done first, and the Twitch extension that the Fun Pimps were creating then added in. So this whole list of things. And he goes through all of them at the end and says, this is plagiarism. Okay. So, before we go any further, let's just bring this over. Now, let's answer a quick question here. This is an archive of the web, the EULA. This is just what I grabbed right here. It just happened to be at the spot I needed. Did the Fun Pimps plagiarize Mischief Maker by using it to create the Twitch integration? From my perspective and from my knowledge base, the answer to that is absolutely not. You heard me correct. The answer is no. They did not steal or plagiarize, and here's why. The user created content section of the EULA. All right, it says, the software may allow you to create content, including but limited to a gameplay map, screenshot, or a video of your gameplay. in exchange for use of the software, and to the extent that your contributions through use of the software give rise to any copyright interest, you hereby grant licensor. Who's the licensor here? That's the Fun Pimps. You, as the user of 7 Days to Die, are the licensee. Again, just so we have our terms straight. So you hereby grant the Fun Pimps an exclusive, perpetual, and irrevocable, fully transferable and sublicensable worldwide right and license to use your contributions in any way and for any purpose in connection with the software and related goods and services, including the rights to reproduce, copy, adapt, modify, perform, display, publish, broadcast, transmit, or otherwise communicate to the public by any means, whether now known or unknown, and distribute your contributions without any further notice or compensation to you for any kind for the whole duration of the protection granted. Okay, all right, we'll stop there. You get the point. It's very, very conclusive here. Exclusive, perpetual, irrevocable. What does perpetual mean? Forever. When you delve into the law, there's something in property law called the rule against perpetuities. I'm not going to get into it for the sake of your sanity and my own. But perpetual means forever. Exclusive, meaning the licensor, the Fun Pimps, have the exclusive right. It's theirs. Irrevocable. Can't be reversed. Okay? Cannot be changed. You can't revoke this. What this is basically stating is that if you create a mod or anything, right, including a map, a screenshot, or a video of your gameplay, and it says including but not limited to, okay? So yes, they give examples here, but it's including but not limited to. They own it. The Fun Pimps own any mods or anything. The random map that I just created for my Alpha 21 Permadeath series, you know who owns that? The Fun Pimps do. If they wanted to email me and say, hey, Marith, we got to take that map away from you, I'll be like, oh, that sucks. But so let's go back to the original question here. Let's go back to the presentation. Kardinal Zyn is saying that Fubar Prime, the Fun Pimps, plagiarized from Mischief Maker. Well, that can't be the case because they own this stuff to begin with. This is one of the reasons why I wanted to create this. Now, I know that this is something that people are going to be passionate about, and I know that some people may not like how I'm saying this, but that's the truth, okay? That's what's in the end user license agreement. When you play the game, you agree to it. So, unfortunately, Kardinal Zyn is incorrect here. You can't plagiarize something that you yourself already own, and they do own it. Per their agreement and what it says right there, you agree to it when you install the game and when you play the game. This part of the end user license agreement has been there for as far back as I can remember. So what happened? Well, around July 13th or 14th, the Fun Pimps amended their end user license agreement that added language strictly prohibiting monetization through a mod such as Mischief Maker. And then about a week later, on July 20th, Kardinal Zyn was suspended midstream via DMCA takedown. The length of the suspension was 48 hours, and he explains his side on July 21st. Now, the language that they added and I just had it here a second ago, but here it is. Okay. So here is the exact language that they added here. Video monetization and ad revenue. All right. This is the April 8th. So let's go back down to this section here. Okay. It's pretty brief, right? Anyone who's purchased, received a gift, or press release copy of the game has permission or rights to receive ad money or to monetize their video or their video channels, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But what did they add on July 13th/14th? Well, it says it's the same language at the beginning. All right, but it says, let's see, anyone who's purchased or has received a gift or press release copy of the software has permission or rights to monetize their video using the software on YouTube, Twitch TV, or other video channels and mediums. Wherein this monetization may include receiving ad money from their video work. This authorization does not include monetization of sorry, I got all right, let me start again. This authorization does not include monetization of video work using the software whose gameplay has been altered or modified by a third-party code, and such third party requires financial compensation for use of such code, which includes revenue sharing of any kind of hard currency or soft currency, as those terms are used below in section, was that 6? Yeah, section 6. All right. So we're not going to really go into section 6 there, but that's the language that they added. Now, what is that addressing? That's addressing Mischief Maker, because Mischief Maker, again, according to what I have been able to read up about, had a thing, a feature where bits that were used to cause some of these events were paid to the content creator, but according to what I saw or read, and again, if I'm incorrect, my apologies for this, but it seems that Voided Pigeon was getting part of it because he got like 20%. As was the mod extension policy that that Twitch has. And this goes for any extension, by the way. This is not something that the Fun Pimps came up with. This was something that is akin to Twitch. So what's the issue here, really? Well, all right. Well, you have some software. The Fun Pimps created a game, and Voided Pigeon created a mod for that game. However, the Fun Pimps own that mod. Let's not forget that. I get it. It doesn't seem right, but they, according to their end user license agreement, they own the mod. So when people are using Mischief Maker, Voided Pigeon is technically making some money from it. But in order to use Mischief Maker, you have to have 7 days to die. It's not its own independent thing. So essentially, the way to look at it is this. Voided Pigeon was making money from 7 days to die via Mischief Maker. If you create something and somebody else in a way is making money off of it, even if it's indirect, is that really fair to you, the person that created this thing to begin with? That's the thing here when you think about it. Okay. So, Kardinal Zyn was suspended. All right. Length of the stream. We went through all this. So, is this fair? Well, yes and no. The Fun Pimps have a pecuniary financial interest in a mod that monetizes their game. We just talked about that. All right. TFP also technically owns the mods per their EULA in the user-created content section. Again, we covered that as well. But the bad PR. Well, the Fun Pimps don't exactly have the greatest reputation when it comes to being responsive to their customer base. And that is an ongoing problem. I'm not saying that they're necessarily incorrect. I mean, the EULA and the rules and laws are kind of on their side. But does that mean that you start to become a dick about things? Does it mean that they could have behaved differently? Yeah, I think they could have done this a whole lot better. Now, people were crying about how no one was told. Even Kardinal Zyn said, I was never informed. But here's the thing. They don't have to inform you. And he says that they made a quiet update to the EULA. What he means is that he didn't see it. But if you go to the beginning of the EULA, it says, this is from the July 14th version, this document may be updated from time to time and the current version will be posted here. So, yeah, they're basically saying, well, that's how you get updates. And you saw this at least once when you installed it, or at least when you first hit play. So those are where the updates are. Now, are they supposed to legally present this to you every single time right in your face? No, I don't think that's what they have to do at all. I don't believe that that is exactly what you have to do. Do a lot of games do that? Sure. Did they put it on a place that you could find it? Yeah. I mean, you are on notice the first time you see that as a licensee, as someone who's been granted a license, that you have to go to that website to look at updates. Fair? Depends upon how you look at it. But could the Fun Pimps have been nicer about this? Could they have found a better way? Sure. From a PR perspective, it's not looking so fantastic to them. And frankly, I think they could have handled this totally differently. All right, on the other side of it, could Zyn have been nicer? Well, yeah, okay. I like Kardinal Zyn. I have nothing personal against the guy. I've seen his streams. I think he does a fantastic job. He's got a captivated audience. He's got a decent community. But what set him off on June 30th, I don't know. He would have to answer that himself. Maybe he just got mad. Maybe he was having a bad day. Maybe Voided Pigeon is a close friend of his, okay? There was something that set him off. Now, could he have done this a different way? Sure. Maybe he could have come to them and said, hey, you know what, guys? Fun Pimps, I know you're creating this thing over here, right? I know you're creating this Twitch integration. I think it's going to be great. But you know something? Voided Pigeon did this first. And while I can certainly understand that technically any mod you guys own, do you think it would be nice, or do you think it would be the right thing to do to at least give Voided Pigeon a little bit of credit, perhaps? Just a little credit to say, like, hey, we appreciate it. Now, here's the thing. They're not obligated to, right? They're not. But there are situations, and I'm kind of going a little off topic here, but perfect example I could think of a mod where the person who created it became involved and got recognition is DayZ, okay? We'll go over this real quick. DayZ is a standalone game on Steam, but DayZ was originally a mod for, I think it was Arma 3, okay, which was like a war game, and soldiers and tanks and all this stuff. I've never played it, but I've played DayZ. I am terrible at it. For all of you that want to know, I suck at DayZ, but I still played it. The people who created Arma 3 saw how popular DayZ was and thought, gee, you know what? We should reach out to this person, we should collaborate with this person and try to bring DayZ into its own independent game. So my understanding of that situation was that the publishers of Arma 3 got in touch with the creator or creators of DayZ and said, let's work together. Come work for us and let's help develop DayZ into its own standalone thing. And that's exactly what happened. To be fair, DayZ did not have any kind of monetization issues or anything like that. It was a mod, it was free. But the people saw how popular it was. Now, one of the things that Kardinal Zyn's community and other people have been quick to point out is that Mischief Maker is was very popular. Do they have a point here? Yes, I think they absolutely do have a point here. It was very popular. But did the Fun Pimps, were they required to reach out to Voided Pigeon in an effort to try and make this diplomatic? No, they didn't have to, but they could have. The same token, though, could Zyn have said this differently? Sure. But we all get worked up. We all make mistakes. We all fly up the handle. We all have bad days. Things like that. It's entirely possible that he could have handled this better. But then again, so could the Fun Pimps. Let's be fair here. We got to be fair to both sides. Okay? Kardinal Zyn is also one of the bigger streamers, and there aren't a lot. So you're kind of going after him. But again, to be fair, he did make some accusations, very serious accusations. And to do so in someone's Twitch chat or on Twitter, you're not going to curry too many favors here, okay? So where do we go from here? Well, there's some boycotting going on. Will it work? Remains to be seen, really. The issue is that Kardinal Zyn could very well decide, you know what, I am unhappy with what you're doing, but I'm going to use the Twitch integration because he had such popularity with it in his community. And I guess it did indirectly help him as far as earning income from his streams are concerned. I think, if I remember correctly, he claims he did not earn any money directly from it. But either way, you could continue to use it. Now, he is saying that he's not going to play 7 Days to Die anymore. He's not going to stream it. And he's also got other people saying the same thing. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. I mean, my final thoughts as far as this is concerned is, well, why did I spend my weekend putting together a homework assignment, aside from that? I mean, a lot of people have had opinions on this. Even Kane, the developer of Darkness Falls, has weighed in, and he gets it. Darkness Falls is a free mod, but if he monetized it in any way, shape, or form, he'd have it taken away from him. So he doesn't necessarily like it either, but he does see where the Fun Pimps are coming from. The Fun Pimps are a company. They are a publisher. They do have rights. You may not like it, and I know that some people might look at this video and say, you're just a shill for the Fun Pimps. I'm not. I'm not a white knight for the Fun Pimps. I don't always think that they're the greatest company. I think their PR needs a ton of work. It really does. I feel like they get very prickly, very quick on a lot of things. But at the same time, if someone comes into your Twitch chat and accuses you of stealing or plagiarism, we've seen this kind of behavior happen in other people's streams before. We've seen it all over streamer Twitter. That is harassment. You don't need to do it continuously for it to be harassment. You just need to do it once. Now, Zyn thinks what he said is true. That is his opinion, and he's absolutely entitled to it. I don't agree with it, though. I think that there was a better way to handle this on both sides, and now it's become a very polarizing issue, and it might hurt the Fun Pimps, because it sounds like a lot of people are going to stop playing, but they've already paid for the game. There's no microtransactions, there's no nothing, so the Fun Pimps already have their money. It's not like it's going to ultimately harm their bottom line right now. But could it in the future? Possibly. It looks like a lot of people have switched over from Mischief Maker to using Twitch integration. And Zyn pointed out that, well, there's a lot of people, as of the date that he got in trouble, that also were using Mischief Maker that were not banned. Fair point. Well, he claims it was retribution for the things that he said. He's not wrong there. Okay, he is not wrong. It absolutely is, because unfortunately, you decide to have a loud voice in that room. You decide to call attention to something. I don't blame the Fun Pimps for doing what they're doing. Does it sound right from a PR standpoint? No. But if someone came into my chat and told me I was stealing or plagiarizing or whatever, I would ban them too. I would absolutely ban them as well. Now, did he call attention to this, and did he start us down this road? It's very possible. Mischief Maker has been around for a while, and there's been no issues up until recently. So, yeah, I mean, you see it for what it is. Unfortunately, he called attention to this and may have brought some of this down. But again, something got him upset. Something set him off. We don't really know what it is. So in closing, I just want to say, if you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Thank you very much for looking at my homework assignment here that I put together for all of you. And I just want to be very clear, okay? These are my thoughts and my opinions. Kardinal Zyn is not a bad person. We all make choices. We all are capable of making mistakes. The Fun Pimps is not themselves a bad company. Again, we make choices. We make mistakes. It is wrong and incorrect to go after either Kardinal Zyn, Wooded Pigeon, or the Fun Pimps in any kind of vendetta. That's not going to solve anything. It's not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to do anything. Take that energy and put it someplace else, is my feeling and thought on this. That's all I have for this video. I really appreciate everyone coming to watch it. I will see you all in the next one.